Hey, what's going on, YouTube family? I'm back again. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mark, where I like talking all things music in my own personal series, Mark Under the Microscope, where I give you an inside look as to who I am as a person through inspirational and motivational vlogging. So if you like things like that, please remember to slash that like button and annihilate that subscribe button and hit that post notification bell. I drop videos like this every Monday and Friday and every day in between. And also, leave me comments down below. I love interacting with you guys. I also do subscriber requests, so huge shout out to my subscribers out there. I love you guys because without you, there would be no me and there would be no channel. But I think I've talked enough, so let's just jump straight into these videos. Let's go!
I knew you'd come. Somehow I just knew you'd find me. Not knowing where I was or when I was coming back sent you crazy. I kept my spies on you.
Just in the studio, man, doing my thing. One wiggy time. For all my hustlers, man.
Come on, SP.
Yo. This one's for those on the dead end street, hustling hard to make all the ends meet.
Hey.
Hope one day I see your Benz creep. Watch for the jealousy that most friends keep.
Ooh.
SP got the Bentley. All I can do is thank God cause he blessed me. I used to be just like you, slinging crack rock on the avenue.
Come on.
Packing Glocks and running from cops. Most of my clients like they cane on the rocks. Gunshots like 2 blocks away. I wonder who the fuck caught a hot one today.
Woo.
Never mind, cause I don't wanna know. I just lost 2 good friends in a row.
Ooh.
1 second, things is looking beautiful. The next second, you the star of the funeral. All my friends are on the dead end streets. Some locked up and some are R.I.P.
Ooh, come on.
You can't win, there ain't no way, no how. Clock your change and get the fuck on out.
Oh, come on. I'm gonna take it back, but I want to sit here and talk about, I love how he's sitting here talking about how the system is like a repeated cycle, like of turmoil and just repeated offenses of how this world is just set up to just sit there and just keep trying to disregard you, and no matter how you try to sit there and try to progress and move forward and try to elevate and push yourself forward, that we had like within our society is implemented for us to sit there and be regurgitated and recycled, to be caught up within this sort of turmoil and sort of influx of pain, a trifecta of pain, misery, and sorrow. Like, I love what he's sitting here speaking about. Like, he's speaking real shit in here so far within this first verse. Like, I thought that was incredible and so amazing with that. I'm gonna take it back a little bit for me pausing it.
The dead end streets, some locked up and some are R.I.P. You can't win, there ain't no way, no how. Clock your change and get the fuck on out. We was Pyrex shakers, Sunnyside money makers. In Hillwood we had rocks big as now and laters.
Ooh, come on.
Was the store that we slung at. Everybody knew me for my 100 packs.
Hey.
Across the street was Law Elementary. My car was so clean, kids was looking up to me.
Come on.
Be like me, a true hustler. Cause they daddy drives an old gas guzzler.
Hey.
Dope dealer. I ain't tryna brag, but fuck watching roaches trying to climb out my bathtub.
Ooh.
Was a hard head, trying to be a drug lord. Slow my road, nah, homie, what the fuck for? I'm in a 2-bed trailer, man, I'm dirt poor. When hurricanes would come, I'd run next door to my homie's house. His name is Julian Hodges. We gon' make it out this ghetto, man, I promise. All my friends are on the dead-end streets. Some locked up and some are alright.
I love this chorus and this bridge.
You can't win, there ain't no way.
This is really showing his versatility as an artist.
Clock your change and get the fuck on out. 99% of all criminals and dope dealers get busted by bullets or fucking squillers. 1% that made it was pure luck, but even he'll tell you that his life ain't worth a fuck. In his mind he was caught 1,000 times, and in his mind he was shot 1,000 times. Without peace there can be no happiness. I wear a cross around my neck like the Catholics. I'm not sure exactly what my religion is. I just know I thank God for my little kids. The system got us selling drugs like some guinea pigs. Then they arrest us after we done made it big. Money, our cars and our houses. Now tell me,
that was a bar. That was a bar. That was a bar. That was a bar. I wonder, was this where he was sitting there speaking about? Was somebody in the comments below? I'm sorry, I can't. In the comments on a previous video, I think mentioned about how the system sat there and seen him. How he came up with his rise to fame and sat there and put the bogus charges against him, that he sat there and wanted to get in and sat there because they seen how on top of his game he was, and sitting there uniting everybody. I wish I could remember who said it, but let me know in the comments below if it was you. I wonder, did he like foresee, like did he do this after, while he was in prison, or was this done before he was in prison? And the reason why I say this is because I wonder, did he like forecast that his downfall was about to sit here and happen? Because if he did, that is genius, the way he sat there and executed this and threw that bar in. But it's, I mean, it's genius regardless if he sat there and did this before this song, before he got locked up, or after he got locked up. So that's where I'm kind of trying to tread the line of trying to see where I'm getting at, because of with that one bar he just sat there and said. Because that was amazing, because when he sat there and said that when they sit there and see you on top, that's when they'll try to lock you up. At least that's what I'm sitting there trying. That's at least what I got from it. And I wonder, is that why if he sat there and said that, he's almost like the Nostradamus of his era, of sitting there predicting of how his turmoil and his fate was going to sit there. And if he sat there and did that within this track, if this came out before he was locked up, or if he did this after he was locked up, whether or not it was done before or after, it was absolutely amazing. That was a bar. I love that.
Cash that we might have hidden goes to the system, trying to stay out of prison. All my friends are on the dead-end streets. Some locked up and some are RIPs. You can't win, there ain't no way, no how. Clock your change and get the fuck on out. All my friends are on the dead-end streets. Some locked up and some are RIPs.
Come on.
You can't win.
I like where he do his vocals on here. I like the bravado that he uses.
Clock your change and get the fuck on out.
In my deodorant.
Okay, so I quickly want to talk about The System by SPM. And I want to sit there and talk about, I love how he sat there and prefaced this track and the way he came onto this track, because I love that he spoke about how the system is basically set up like, at least in my mind and just by the way that I see it and interpret it as well, it almost reminds me of a hamster wheel. And you know how like when a hamster's sitting there, they jump on the little wheel and they sit there and they're running and running and running and they're not going nowhere but in that one cycle, and just keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going, just running and exercising, running and running and running, and then just in place. And then it's almost like a washer machine as well too. When you sit there and think of the washer machine, when it's in the spin cycle, it's just running and running and just spinning like that. I love how he sat there and equated of how he's sitting here talking about how the system is just like a regurgitation of, like I said before, it's like a trifecta of pain, sorrow, and hurt, and it just sits there. No matter how you want to sit there and elevate yourself and push yourself forward, that our system is set up to sit there and to keep you in a stagnant position and not try to keep you from, and not try to help you elevate or rise to the top, because a lot of times it wants to sit there, they only want to see you get so far, but before they sit there and knock you back down 2 or 3 spaces, or if at all, knock you all the way down, period, to the ground. So it's like, I love how he was able to sit there and incorporate that within his lyrics and his bars, and be able to sit here and tell this story of how the system is such a trifecta, and such a fucked up place, where it's like such a repeated place, excuse my language, but just like such a repeated place of sitting there just saying that like, yo, it's like, it's messed up and it needs to be changed. Like, there needs to be some type of implemental changes or monumental changes that need to be put into place, where we're not sitting here losing people to the system, or losing people to the grades, or losing people to guns, or losing people to drugs and alcohol, or just other stupid things that go on within this world, or hate and racism and things like that, at least within my mind of what I could think of. It's just like he's sitting there saying that a lot needs to change in order for us to progress and move forward as people. And that's what I get from this story, from his storytelling artistry. And that's why I see why, like I always sit there and say, why he's equated to Tupac, because Tupac was such a force and such a dynamic driver, and being able to tell a story and unite in all people, and to see how much the system works against us as people, instead of sitting there and wanting to use it as a divide and conquer strategy, rather than unite us as one and being one people to help us all elevate and help all rise up, and rather see us fight against each other and pin against each other, whether you're black versus white, white versus black, Hispanic versus black, black versus Hispanic, Asian versus Hispanic, Asian versus white, Hispanic versus Asian. Like, it just wants to, green versus purple. Like, it just wants to sit there and keep this like clusterfuck of people sitting there being against each other. And I love how he highlighted and emulated that within this track. I thought it was super dope, super creative how he sat there and came up with that, and I thought it was amazing. And like I said, I love how SPM sits there and tells his story, how he markets his story, and how he sits there and just lets it be known, and just sits there and is authentically himself, and he doesn't shy away from speaking about those issues, and also speaking about those issues that affect him as a person and have affected his life and shaped him into the man that he is, and how the system has affected him, not only him but his homies and the people that come from the hood that he comes from. Like, a lot of people don't understand him because of the topics that he's talking about, or they don't want to sit there and relate to it, because they're like, oh, well, your background dictates this. And it's like, I always sit there and say, if you don't know somebody personally, you can't sit there and pass judgment on a person if you don't know what happened. Like, I know there's 3 sides to every story. There's that side, there's the other person's side, and then there's the middle. And where you sit there and come to terms of figuring out what it is. You can't, there's not just one side to every spectrum. There's not one side to every story. There's a plethora of things that go on in that. And I think that he highlights that and emulates that through his artistry and his music. And that's why when I sat there and did my first reaction of his, and then after that I was like, oh, I like this guy, let me Google him. And then I seen what his why he went to prison and things like that. And then I started getting like a lot of hate because like through social media about people sitting there saying, well, why are you reacting to him after the things that you've been through and the things that you had to grow accustomed to? One, because I'm sitting here going with an unbiased opinion because one, I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. I was not in Houston. I'm from New York, so I don't know what he did, what he didn't do. All I can sit there and do is measure the artist in his artistry. So that's why I always do blind reviews of sitting there separating myself so I could give an unbiased opinion. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened between him and the other parties that were involved in that whole dynamic of why he was arrested and things like that and sentenced to 41 years in prison, I think it was. But I can only judge what I hear through the music, and that's what everybody is watching me for, to give my reaction to the music, not for me to sit there and be the judge, the jury, and the executioner of a man whose story I don't know, or the person who sat there and brought up the allegations of the party if I wasn't there. Like, I'm here to judge. I'm here to be the judge, the jury, and the executioner of the music. And I think his music is fire. I think it's dope, and I like hearing what he has to sit there and say. So with that being said, I know it's not anybody who subscribed to my channel that's sitting here saying those things to me with the negative comments, but I've had people sit there and send me things on Snapchat, through IG, through Twitter message, sitting there asking me why I'm sitting there reacting to somebody, and because of the thing trying to bring up, because of what I discussed in some of my other videos, who are not subscribed to the channel because they sat there and watched my videos and they know some of the things that I've been through. But it's like, I'm not passing judgment on a man that I don't know and don't know his backstory. I can only judge by what I hear, what I listen, and what I'm getting to know from him as an artist. And I think he's a phenomenal artist, and I'm going to come with an unbiased opinion with every artist I sit there and react to. And if I think you're trash, I'm going to say that you're trash. And if I think that you're fire, I'm going to sit there and say that you're fire, because that's what you want. You want an unbiased opinion. You don't want somebody who's going to be cookie cutter and sit there and say, oh, and gas it and sit there and say, oh, this person is fire, this is bomb, and you try to sit there and inflate egos to sit there and get clout and get subscribers. That's not what I'm about, and I think that's what other people respect about me, because I'm not that way. And me being such a small channel and what I am, I don't sit there and try to be somebody I'm not. That's why I sit there and do my reactions differently. That's why I give introductions. That's why I sit here and take you on different parts of the city of where I live and give introductions like that. And I don't sit there and do the normal introduction. I try to give you guys something different. I don't like being like everybody else. I'm not a cookie cutter type of person. I like being innovative. I like being different, but I also like hearing you guys' feedback, which helps me become better for you guys, because the people who I feel like who are subscribed to my channel, who watch me, will continue to watch me and will continue to rock with me, because they support what I do and they value my opinion and they value my input. And to me, that's all that matters. As long as my subscribers are happy, I don't care what the other masses of people who sit there and say, because if I don't know you personally, I don't take what you have to say personal. So it's like, I think that SPM is an amazing artist. I think that this was dope. I'm loving this track. I thought it was absolutely incredible. Thought it was absolutely amazing. And the only thing I could sit there and say is, SPM, keep pumping out these hits. And I'm not grading this because I thought it was amazing. I love the concept behind it. I love the musicality. I love the versatility and everything. And keep doing you, bro, because you are awesome. And like I said, I feel like you're like my older brother half the time, because I feel like you're sitting there speaking to me as a younger brother, just sitting there telling me that of the things that you've been through, and just telling me to just stay on the right path every time I listen to your music. And even though you're speaking and the situation is telling your life story, and we come from different paths, we still come from struggle, and we still can connect in that way. And I love how you sit there and can unite people, because you connect with people who come from a situation of disenfranchisement, and that's what I love. So with that being said, please let me know what you thought of The System by SPM in the comments below. And with that being said, please remember to be safe out there. Remember to stay awesome, be awesome, because you guys are all awesome. This is your boy Mark, and I'm signing off. Deuces. Peace.
They need rappers like me. They need rappers like me. So they can get on their fucking keyboards and make me the bad guy, Chung Lee. Hey, yo,